Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems. Want to welcome you this afternoon. Hopefully, everybody's jumping on in here. Looks like we got a pretty good crowd that's going to be showing up here soon. So let's see if we got here. All right, we've got some folks that are joining us this afternoon. So good to see everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems. Want to welcome you here to the webinar this afternoon. Looks like we got Joe. Good to see you, and looking forward to some more folks that are jumping on here. I just want to make sure that I'm being heard okay. So let me make sure I've got my volume turned up here just in case I need it. Looks like we have James. Good to see James again. Good to see you again. We're going to be going over a topic here that obviously a lot of people want to ask about. Do people fail in this business, or what about any business that there may be out there? So let's we're going to kind of take some quick snapshots through what it means, 3 ways you might fail at really becoming an entrepreneur. So we want to make sure that we cover as much as we can. Good to see you too, James. It's good to hear you and see you there. Joe, it's good to see you. Yarvi, good to see you. Sharon, good to see you. Elaine, good to see everybody this afternoon. We got a few more folks that are just trying to get in, and so we'll give it a couple of more seconds here, and we're going to get started. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this webinar presentation today and about this topic. As I mentioned earlier, for those that were kind of getting logged in here and trying to get things going as we get this topic going, really what you need to know about any business, whether it's this business or any other type of business, is, are there pitfalls that could prevent you from succeeding? And obviously there are. Whether it's this business in medical billing or whether it's in any type of business, you need to know when your entry point is and how long you want to be able to stay in it, maybe what your exit point is. And so these are all strategies that any business opportunity entrepreneur really wants to take a look at. All right, so it looks like we've got a good crowd here. So I'm going to get started here. Again, everybody should know right where the button is for the Q&A. I'd love for you to go ahead and click on that. James has already seen that and has already said hello to me. So if you wouldn't mind, just for those that are on here, Elaine and maybe Yarib and Sharon and Joe and Yolomo, I hope I said that correct. I'm so sorry if I didn't, but just pop in there and say hello. It's good to see everybody this afternoon. All right, my name again is Eric Auger. I'll be your host this afternoon and be monitoring all of the questions that are coming in. So the reason we wanted you to say something in the Q&A, because you'll know where to kind of start asking some of your questions. So feel free to ask me your questions. Now, again, I will say this: if I can't answer your question, it will be forwarded over to the business coach that you're working with over here at American Business Systems. So we'll do my best at doing this. I've been doing this for just a few months here. I guess since about 10 years I've been doing this with Patrick and Adam and trying to do these webinars. So hopefully there's not a question that you'll ask that I may not be able to answer, but hey, it's happened. So we won't ever say it's never happened before. So Sharon, it's good to see you. And Joe, thanks for popping in here and saying hello. All right. So folks, some of you already know what we're going to talk about. There are some new people on here. So for those that are kind of, veterans here that have been on some of our other webinars, just let me get through this little part right here, because we like to share who we are at American Business Systems and how long we've been apart, and, just kind of the story of American Business Systems as we kind of get started here. So ABS, for some of you that are brand new, has been around for over 29 years. ABS is just a family type business that is now run as from our CEO, Adam Phillips. You'll get to see his picture here in just a moment. But really what separates us from what we're doing with any other medical billing companies are doing out there is the cloud-based system, which is very unique in this marketplace. And matter of fact, I just read an article from someone that I followed for many years. The title of the article was just basically, is this a good time to start a medical billing company? And one of the key things that he said in his article was, make sure that you have a cloud-based system. That was the biggest thing that he said. If you're going to get in this business, get involved with a cloud-based system. And he goes on and says some other things, but that was his number one thing that he mentioned there. And the reason is because you don't want to have to worry about securities on your own computer. Do you have the backups? Did you wouldn't want the worst thing to happen, which is you lose your server or because of a power outage, or your laptop gets stolen and all of a sudden you've got patient data floating all over the place. So, you want a secured system. So our system, the iClaim EMRx system, which is powered by NextGen Healthcare, is what we feel like is the most solid system that you can have out there. And for those that have been on other webinars, you also know the other reason that why it's so important, and that's because, again, it has its own clearinghouse. And that's so important because of some of the things that you can learn, what you can do with that and getting the doctors paid quicker. The claim rejection rates are so much lower. And then there's some other added benefits to that. So that's the main, think of this as like the hub of the wheel, and there's all these different spokes that come off of it here at with the other services. Now, the other ABS partners that we have here are NextGen, and you see DentaMax for those that want to do some dental billing. And there's some other aspects of it. Compliancy Group, which is all about compliancy and HIPAA. So we've got all of the, think of it, we've got all the different spokes, and especially those that are looking at getting this business, and you're just now kind of going, gosh, what about this coding thing? I've heard so much about medical coding. You don't even have to worry about that, because medical coding is part of one of the services here, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about that a little bit later as we go through it. Let me share with you how this whole thing got started. You can see this pretty lady here to the left, Patrick, that's Linda, of his wife. Gosh, they've been married forever. I think over 45, 50 years, I believe. I have to ask Patrick. It's been a long time since those two have been around. But they've built a rock solid business. Again, Linda actually started doing billing before ABS even got started. That's how the whole idea came behind it. And then Patrick came around and saw that Linda was doing some billing at home and thought, wow, this might be a good business opportunity. And so that's how this all started. And it grew from there to just doing billing to all these different services. So yeah, it's been an incredible family business. And it's exciting to see just on the cusp, on the heels of turning 30 years old here at American Business Systems. Now, Adam Phillips is our CEO. He has taken over the reins of day in and day in actions of here at American Business Systems. He has been well mentored by his dad. So matter of fact, Patrick is not only was the CEO of this company, he made all the different decisions and got everything kind of just set on the path for this company. But Patrick was a big writer. And then since then, Adam's been doing some writing. He's been writing articles for a billing and coding magazine called BC Magazine, which is the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. He's written some books, co-authored some books. And so Adam's really kind of just fallen in line with all of basically what, because of the footsteps of his dad. So it's been a great, again, family type business. And what we've seen is a lot of folks just like this that started a medical billing business do this as a family, and you see really what's all been going on in each of those companies there. So a lot of people ask about all these different white boxes. Now, folks, this is just a montage basically of all the different services that we have here. I want to also tell you, for those that are brand new to the webinar, you don't have to piecemeal these together. You don't have to get iClaim and EMRx as the base and then add these other services. These services all come together when you become part of American Business Systems. So there's no if you buy this for iClaim and EMRx, and then if you want coding, then you can add that, and there's going to be a cost to that. There's one fee, one flat fee. This is a business opportunity. It's not a franchise. So there's going to be no franchise fees, no royalty fees upon this. And so you're getting everything, including a lifetime of support. And that's important for you, because there is no added support that you're going to have to come back and ask for or pay more for. If you need help on certain things, this is all included. So I just want to make sure everybody understands this is an all-inclusive business opportunity, not a franchise. And so again, there's no franchise fees, royalty fees. There's nothing else that you'll ever have to pay back to American Business Systems. One of the things that you're going to get here with American Business Systems, we're going to train you to become a medical revenue manager. So you're going to be a certified medical revenue manager. And this is going to be important because as soon as you complete our course here and you get through with that, you will be a certified medical revenue manager. And you can use that as part of your what you're able to put on the back side of your name, CMRM. That's your certification. And what's important about that is that the people that put that together is an organization called MRMA, MRMAA.org. So go check that out. You can go see that right now. And let me tell you why this is so important. Because if you're thinking about ways not to fail, the last thing you'd want to do is you start getting out there and you start marketing to doctors is you want to say, hey, I just got my new business opportunity from American Business Systems. And they go, why would I ever want to use you? You're brand new at this. I don't think I'll stay away from you. So this is one of those ways, again, that you can certainly separate yourself, because you can push doctors to this website here and seeing who our medical director here for MRMA and some of the other folks that help you. So all of that is there. So I'm looking forward to spending the next few minutes with you on the becoming an entrepreneur, 3 ways you might fail. And so we want to make sure that we avoid those from the very beginning. And so one of the things, this is really more of an added bonus to it, if you really want to get involved in medical billing, the last thing you want to do is get involved with somebody that is not going to be able to help you as much as I think ABS is going to be able to help you. Now, and we're a little biased about that, absolutely, but because I've been around this company for as long as I have, I've been around this family as long as I have, that they will do, and ABS will do everything that they need to do to make you successful and help you get successful. The one thing that they can't do is phone you up, call you, make sure that you're out of bed, doing all your stuff there. But other than that, everything else that you're going to need to become successful in this business, ABS is going to do. So let's just start off with this before we actually get into these 3 different points. And this is a question that gets asked quite a bit, and I thought I'd lead off with this. And the question is, won't I fail right off the bat because doctors have their own billers? Now, let's just come to reality here of really what's going on with doctors, medical billers. Why would they use a medical biller versus why would they use an outsourced medical billing company? So let me kind of share with you my experience. I've owned a couple of medical billing companies. I've been successful at those and have moved on from those and doing some extra stuff like what I'm doing here with American Business Systems, coaching people along here. But what you're going to find out in this world of what's called revenue cycle management is that there is this fluidity between doctors having their own billers and outsourcing back to having their own billers and maybe outsourcing again, maybe doctors leaving their practice so that they can go take an employment job and then coming back in because they're tired of being an employee of somebody. And if you know anything about doctors, the last thing a doctor wants to be told to do is what they need to do. Doctors are independent thinkers. So they feel like they've lost control, and a lot of doctors kind of go in and out of that. So this fluidity between whether there's a doctor that's an independent medical practice versus a doctor being bought up and becoming an employee of somewhere, all of this is fluid. So this is always moving. So you're always going to find a doctor that has a biller. You're going to find some doctors that already have medical billing companies. So let's just kind of step back and go, let's realize if you run to a doctor and they're practicing, I can promise you 100% somebody's doing their billing, okay? It's just a matter, are they doing it in-house or if they're outsourcing it? Doctors understand that if they can outsource it, it actually saves them money. And I'm going to show this chart to you. So some of you may have seen this chart, so just hang on there with me. If you've never seen this, I'm going to kind of step you through this to help answer the question, don't doctors already do the billing in-house? Well, let's kind of just take a look at the cost of what it takes to do the billing in-house. So typically, if you take 100 claims and those claims are valued at $150 for 52 weeks at 7%, you can see what it would cost to outsource that. Well, that's $54,600. So keep that in mind. That's the outsourcing cost to a doctor. Now let's start if they're doing in-house billing. If they are got an employee, at least one employee, and it's what I've seen, it's usually a one employee plus another, because there's always somebody doing something. If you take those and kind of get the number there, that right off the bat, just in employees alone will cost them about $68,000, plus the payroll taxes, plus the workman's comp, plus error and omission insurance, plus their training costs, plus whatever it's going to cost to let these people go on vacation, any of their employee benefits that go along with that. Then they start adding into their hardware costs, software costs, IT support costs, and really that number right there, let's call it $5,600 or $4,600 right there. That's actually on the low end whenever it comes to hardware and software updates and IT support. That's a low number. But if you took all of those numbers and you just averaged everything out, to do the same amount of billing would cost the doctor $95,000. So it doesn't take a lot to understand that the doctors could save nearly $40,000 just having it outsourced. And whether you change anything that you're doing so far, you've already added a $40,000 bonus to that doctor already. So let's not be too afraid if you're out there marketing, you're going through everything. Our doctor's already doing billing in-house. And here's another question that comes up. Well, what if I do that? And am I going to take somebody's job? I promise you there's enough in that doctor's office to take that 1.5 employees and do something more. Because it could be opening up another one of their rooms in there, getting more people in there, being a little bit more efficient inside of the doctor's office. Sometimes it helps the doctor goes, you know what, I'm overstaffed and I need to get rid of some folks. So listen, you're all about revenue cycle management, which includes the doctor's entire world on financials. Okay. So let's break through this paradigm shift of I'm just a medical biller. Okay. You are becoming your own company. Number one, you're going to be the boss of your company, and your company is all about revenue cycle management. Everything about the doctor's revenue, you are going to help them out, which includes maybe even counseling them with some of the things that they need to do with their employees. So I just want to kind of keep that in mind as we get started here on 3 ways you might fail. One of the things that a lot of people fail in the very beginning, and they don't even take the first step forward, is they kind of give up and go, doctors already have their own medical billers. I don't know if I really want to do that. So let's talk about the 3 things. These are 3 very important and pretty basic ways that anybody can fail when they're becoming an entrepreneur. I'll tell you one of the biggest ones that we probably see the most of all is the number one that's on this list. And that's where people want to reinvent the wheel. Look, folks, if there is a system that's out there and it's been working, don't try to outsmart, think whatever else has happened within that particular company. Remember, ABS has been around for 29 years, going on 30 years. And the reason that they've been around so long is because we have taken the hits on what is a success and what is not a success. We've helped our business owners find out where they have misstepped, or there's been failure, or whether it's in marketing or actually doing the billing or whatever it might be. And we have worked it within this company here at American Business Systems, and we've got a pretty good system down. If not, we would not have been here for 29, going on 30 years. So we've got to make sure that we don't try to reinvent the wheel. Matter of fact, I just heard that from some other business opportunities that I hear about all the time. And the biggest thing is don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just work the plan as successful as it is. Number 2, have the right product. And that is so key. Remember what I mentioned earlier, that I read an article, that written by somebody that I know that says, is it a good time to start a medical billing company? Well, his first thing was making sure you have the right product, making sure you have the right system. And when we're talking about the right system, we're talking about the right billing system. And then it has to be a cloud-based system. You don't want a server-based system anymore. There's so many companies that have gotten away completely away from their server-based systems because, again, it's too critical whenever it comes down to security. And then the last thing that we'll talk about today is have the right training and support. Now, this is critical, again, for your success. So let's talk about what it means to reinvent the wheel. And again, if anybody knows anything, this is an idiom. So this is just something that's just a very informal way of doing something here. I looked it up in the Webster Dictionary that was established in 1828. It basically says to waste time trying to do something that has already been done successfully by someone else. That's what it means to reinvent the wheel. Where we have found most people fall right off of the gate. And you know where it really comes from? And I have to be, I'll say it comes from people like myself who have been an entrepreneur or a salesperson for a very long time, because we feel like, well, gosh, I've sold one thing. I can probably take this whole business opportunity and processes and all this, and I can apply some of the things that have worked for me in the past and I can bring it over here. We have found out that it probably most times where we see people fail, it's with this. The very beginning, we've spent time, money, and effort and resources and working through things to make sure that what you're taught in that training class here with American Business Systems is a workable process with workable systems, with workable processes that you take and you do it, you repeat it, and you go back again and you do it again. You just don't get off of that. So one of the things I've mentioned to you already, we've already got established a system. And that's so important to understand that when somebody like yourself that are looking to get involved here and you're sitting on this webinar, and again, in the back of your mind, you're going, I hear what Eric's saying. I maybe hear what Adam or Jason or anybody else is saying over here. And all of a sudden, I kind of get caught up again late night trying to go to sleep. I go, oh, what about that coding? I don't know anything about coding. Again, let me establish you right now. You do not have to know anything about medical coding. Why is that? It's because there's two services here that will help you take care of your coding for your doctors, AuditGuard and CodeWrite. That is already established in the plan. So when a doctor, you could turn in your purchase agreement today and not even get started in training. And you might run into a doctor or somebody out there, and all of a sudden the first question is, do you do coding? And right off the bat, you can say, absolutely. I've got a complete team of people who are certified professional coders that can take care of all your coding needs. Again, let me repeat that to you. I have a full team of certified professional coders that can take care of all of your coding needs. That's it. You've got it. You've already got that. So the doctor's trying to establish, am I connecting with a person here that knows what they're talking about? Well, one of the things I just said, whether you caught it or not, is what's called a certified professional coder. That is an actual schooling that people go get. It's called a certified professional coder, or CPC. Yeah, they have to go to school for 2 to 3 years. Then they have to go through an apprentice process. And then finally, they get certified as a certified professional coder. Now, what makes those folks different than you as a certified medical revenue manager? I'll tell you, you are a business owner. Okay, so let that sink in a little bit. See, business owners don't always take out the trash. They don't always do the coding. What they make sure they have is everything that they need to complete the job, utilizing other people and other sources or resources. That's why we have AuditGuard and CodeWrite. What about HIPAA compliancy? We got Compliancy Guard. What about helping the doctor collect money that's owed to them? Well, that's why we got Quick Collect and Choice Pay. What if the doctors need to help build up their patient people coming through the door? Well, we have AutoCard, which is an automated system to help patients remind, yeah, you got a mammogram coming up, or you got your well patient visit that needs to be coming up. You've got these things in place that you already have. What if you in your marketing through all that you're doing, you got a dentist that's looking for a biller? Well, you got Dentamax now, so you got everything there. Virtual care, I haven't even talked about, which has to do with remote patient monitoring, chronic care management. All of this is something that you're not going to be able to find really outside of the scope of what we've been able to show you so far. So we're going to start off with you right now. We want to make sure that we set you on the path to make sure you have all the tools to get going, and that starts with these things here. We want to make sure you have the right marketing tools, the right support, all the contracts, the right training, the demos, and I'll tell you about the demos, all the right tools, proposals, and coaching. So let's try not to reinvent the wheel. One of the things you don't have to reinvent the wheel on is your marketing campaign. You do not have to go, gosh, how am I going to put together all of my different flyers that I need to get going out here? What we've been able to do, we've been able to strategically build these flyers, as you can see here, and we can shift a few things around, especially this bottom row that you see here. You can see that there's a little bit of white space down there. We can move some of that text around a little bit because this is all going to our custom printer before you even get them. Now, you're going to get some of these as some marketing pieces right there in the very beginning, so you can go out there and start marketing. But what you're going to do is you're going to have a certificate so that you can order the rest of your balance for all of your marketing materials with your contact information on it, with your logo on it. And it doesn't look like it's from an Avery sticker. This is actually printed on the flyers as though that you're seeing it just right now. And this is so impressive for you to be able to walk out from your training and start passing these flyers out. Now, and again, these aren't just flyers that you're going to go around to the neighborhoods and just put these and hang them on doors and stuff like that. We're going to strategically show you how to take care of this, because remember, especially those who are like me and come from the past of marketing and sales, listen to me closely. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to take our marketing stuff and apply it to what you might know, because I will promise you, you'll hit a brick wall. That's what happens. And one of the ladies, our lead instructor, I remember her telling her story, saying, because she come from a marketing background, she had a marketing degree, everything. She wanted to get involved in medical billing several years ago. And man, she says, you know what? I thought, man, I know a little bit more than what ABS knows. I love all their stuff. I can utilize this, but got out there and for weeks and weeks and weeks, couldn't get a lead, couldn't get an appointment, and called support, try to figure out what's going, can you help me evaluate what's going on? Well, tell us what you're doing. Well, I'm doing this. Well, we didn't teach you that. Let's kind of go back to the basics here. Let's kind of get back on track. And within 2 to 3 weeks, boom, got it going. Okay, so it's so important that you follow the instructions. And again, don't reinvent this wheel. That's so important. Listen, folks, the time and effort that ABS and Adam and the other creative people here at American Business has done has not only come up with great marketing pieces, but has spent literally hours and every week and every month revisiting with our training group here, making sure, is there anything we need to tweak here or tweak there? Well, what we heard from one of our business opportunities, business owners over here in this part of the States that says, hey, we're doing this. We found a lot of success with it. Okay, well, let's test it out. And if it works, let's put this back in. Let's put this into the training. So there's a lot of R&D, if you want to call it, happening continually. If you got an idea, share it with the trainer or share it with the support team and just say, well, what are your thoughts about this? And bounce these ideas. It's not that we don't want you to, but we just want to make sure that you've got everything that you need. So it starts off with making sure you have the right marketing mindset, and that's going to be helpful. The next thing you're going to really need is a good place to find all your material, and that's our licensee support site. That's what this is here. And once you become a business owner here at American Business Systems, and we call it a licensee support site because we formally call our folks here, ABS licensees. But you're really a business owner, but we want to make sure that you have the right material to where you can get into the licensee support site at any time, any day, a night, weekend, whatever you need to do, and get everything that you need. Now, if we had had the time, I could jump in here and kind of show you around, and might be able to do that on one of our upcoming webinars where we really explore really what's going on with the licensee support site. Now, the reason I say that I can show you that on a future webinar is because this is a password enabled. Until you become a licensee, you can't get into here. But that is so important that you've got that, because inside of that is where you're going to be able to download things like this, your proposals. All of this is in a Word document, so you just get it downloaded, and you're going to put your logo on there. Our support team, our trainers are going to show you how to get all of that done and get it done professionally. To the right, you see a proposal chart, a flyer. I forgot what you call those things, but the presentation folders. There we go. That you're going to be able to put not only your business card, but your proposal whenever it's time to put your proposal in there, and then you can slide your flyers right inside there. Now, again, let's go back to these flyers. It's not like you're going to take that presentation folder and start going knocking on doors and saying, hey, I'm the new medical billing company in town. Here's everything that I do. Do you think that they're going to hear you? No, they're not. Let me kind of share with you a little bit behind the scenes of some techniques that I used on getting an audience with the doctor. I mean, if today you could learn how to get in front of a doctor that would be worth it for you to get started with American Business Systems? And the answer would be, hopefully it would be yes. But here's a quick tip on how to take one of these services and get an audience with a office manager, or maybe even with the doctor. Here's one. So y'all listen up. This is free for you. Whether you use this or not in the future, it's up to you, but it worked for me, and it was very strategic. So one of the things, after I learned about all my different services that I have here, I didn't lead in with being a medical billing company. Okay, so that's one of the things I did. I did not go around to doctors' offices and say, hey, I'm Eric Auger, I'm with whatever company, I'm with this medical billing company. I'd like to talk with whoever does your revenue cycle management there. If you could type in your answers, why do you think I would not lead in with that? Well, think about it for a moment. Whether you want to type it in or not, that's you can do that. But think about why. Well, obviously, it's like anything. If you walk into a doctor's office with anybody, and you say, hey, I'm here because I'm a specialist in this, they're already, especially if they're doing their own billing, they're already thinking, what does this guy know? We don't know him. We don't know him. Why would I think I want to use him? So, and it's like, well, we're doing billing fine. We don't need you. It always, to me, it always put up a first roadblock there. Now, your trainer is going to teach you so many different techniques. I'm just telling you one just right off the bat here. However, whenever I took one of our services, I really learned the service, which is Compliancy Guard. Okay, that has to do everything with HIPAA. There is not a doctor's office anywhere, specialty anywhere, call it your cardiologist, your nephrologist, every type of doctor's office that you could walk into today that doesn't have to deal with HIPAA, including dentist offices. So whether you do billing for anything else, this service alone hits every healthcare industry out there in the marketplace today. All right, so knowing that, really learned how to talk about HIPAA compliancy. What I did, I would go in and introduce myself. I'd say, hi, my name's Eric Auger. I'm with so-and-so, and I'd like to see what is the name of your HIPAA compliancy officer here? What's their name? And I just stopped for a moment. And do you realize never once was I ever given that cold shoulder of going, well, I don't know, you have to call us back. Every single time I got a name. Matter of fact, there were many times where that person actually came out and talked with me. And I would say, hi, if they did come out, I'd say, hi, I'm Eric Auger. I know that you're really busy, but I am going around to these doctors' offices here in our local community, and I'm putting on a small, quick lunch and learn real quickly on some updates about HIPAA compliancy. Just wanted to know what day that I could come over here and schedule some time, maybe bring a little bit of lunch over to your doctor's office and gather your staff around, and let me just kind of share some of the new HIPAA rules that are out. Okay, folks, do you realize what we just did here? I've shown you one way not to fail at marketing. Okay, so hopefully everybody's hearing me and everybody's there. So if you're there, please just put, yep, I got it. Give me a thumbs up. I want to make sure I'm still being heard. I hope I haven't lost internet connection here today. So, James, if you're there, give me a thumbs up or something. Just let me know that everybody can still hear me out there. But did you hear what I just said? I just gave you a free way to get in front of doctors' offices without them feeling threatened and everybody else feeling threatened back behind the scenes here. All right. So, yep. Okay, great. Thanks, James. I appreciate the feedback. They're doing good. Great. I was getting a little worried there, making sure that because no questions were coming in. Maybe I didn't want to feel like I'm just talking to myself out there. So again, that is such an important role of what you can do to not fail in the very beginning. And hopefully you can see here at American Business Systems, we give so much information on these webinars that we're giving you information that you're going to learn in training. Why is that? Because we want to make sure that you are making the right decision going forward. Our trade secrets that we have, listen, Patrick has taught me, has taught Adam, taught everybody here. He says, look, we can't give these people enough information, especially on our webinars. Listen, we know that anybody could go out there and go try to do it on their own. But typically, we see them come back and go, you know what? You've got more than what I to really get started. I need everything that you have. Contracts. We got all these contracts that are written. They're succinct. You can let your attorneys go review them. And but what we're going to do is whenever it's time for you to start writing out your service agreement with your doctors, you've got a complete support team that's going to help you. Because one of the things we're going to teach you how to do is what's called a practice analysis. That practice analysis will show us and show you, again, how to make sure that you fill out your service agreements properly. Because it's not like you want to go in your service agreement and then list out every single service that you have, okay? So again, it's not like you're trying to throw the entire kitchen sink at everybody. You want to reserve a little bit back, because when you start having a dialogue with your doctors, and you're in those managers there, you're going to go, oh, you know what? I learned something about you when I did a practice analysis. Now, I know that we're talking about maybe HIPAA compliancy, and maybe we're going to see what we can do to present iClaim and EMRXT. But you know what? One of the things that I really found out that you really needed, that could possibly be needed, is credentials, your credentialing. Or maybe some things about virtual care, or some other things that we have here. Maybe choice pay might be a help for you. So you learn all of that through the practice analysis to get prepared for your service agreement. And then when you're putting all that together, you put in your presentation folders, and you found out some other things that you might help them with, throw those little folders in there. And when they're kind of thumbing through that, they go, oh, wow, you do this too? Oh, yes, I can do that for you. So that's another way. You don't want to have to leave training and go try to figure out how to do all your own contracts. We talked a lot about training. Now, here's a great thing that I am so pleased to, again, to talk about what the kind of being on the edge of technology and training here at American Business Systems. I remember right before COVID really happened, we were already doing our online training. We used to have training where we have everybody fly in here, and everybody stay at a hotel. They'd be here for 5 days. Really, it was a lot of fun, a lot of synergy happening. But I tell you, the way that we're doing training now and how it's kind of spread out a little bit, and you're able to learn and then go apply some of the things that you've just learned, is an incredible way of learning. Because if you recall, we used to do training, it was 5 days. It was like talk about throwing the kitchen sink at you. It was 5 days of nothing but from 8 to 5, sometimes 5:30 every day, and just hammering all this, trying to crunch as much information as into everybody as we could. But now that we've got online training and we're giving you a little bit of time, a little time to breathe here, to take in the information. And then when your trainer says, okay, hey, Eric, I need for you to go try this and start giving you homework, because we're not going to move on until you get this down. You talk about a great way of training. So the training online has been very helpful. It's done by the Zoom meetings as we're doing it now. But then again, we're also can help you do these, what's called live demonstration marketing. Now, this is a great way of also helping you get that first doctor. So let's say that you've gone through training, you've kind of created your warm market, you've already done some marketing out there. You may have already developed a relationship with an office manager, and all of a sudden a doctor says, yes, I'll take a look at what you got, because really last year was in the tank. And I'm not going to tell anybody that, the doctor's not going to say, really, my billing is really in the tank. But, they're trying to figure out how to change their world. Because listen, inflation and everything else that's going on right now is hitting everybody, including doctors. So the doctors are looking, okay, I'm all ears. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But you just get through with training. And one of the key things that you need to be able to do is making sure that you can demo the system. So instead of you doing the demo, we do the demos for you. And that's right. We are doing your demos for you. So again, we're not just giving you a piece of software that you can load on your computer, and then hopefully, without you ever doing any billing ever, if you got a system that you're having to load on your computer system, keep with all the training, and then hopefully you've never, like I said, you've never done billing before, and all of a sudden the doctor wants you to do a demonstration. You wouldn't be able to get through it. You just can't. And that's one of the specialties here at American Business Systems. From day one, we've actually had people not even get through training who already knew, they already kind of built a warm market with some doctors already. And all of a sudden, right in the middle of training, they go, hey, I got a doctor who wants to see the system next week. Can you help us? Yes, we'll get it scheduled. There's some things you need to do. You're going to do that practice analysis before we get them there, because we got to get a little information before we open up the door here. But yes, we're going to help you with that. So you've got all the tools that you're going to need, whether it's the flyers or the postcards or the books and everything that we'll talk about a little bit more about. And if you need one-on-one coaching, again, your team here at American Business Systems through MIRMA is here to help you. So like I said, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We've got your marketing done. We've got your support done, your contracts, training, proposals, coaching, tools, your demos. If we did nothing else right now, we kind of just shut down the webinar as it is right now, we've got you covered so that you don't fail right out of the gate. Okay, that's the big thing. Number two, what's the biggest thing that you need to have? Remember, if y'all remember, I'll go back up here to the slide. What was number two that we need to make sure that we have? Have the right product. You got to have the right product. And I've already shared with you what you need. Something out there is something different than anybody else has. You need to have a differentiation that separates you from everybody else there out in the marketplace. We have, through our technology partners, have pulled together a group of services that is second to none. And we want you to make sure that when you're out there, that you separate yourselves from all others. Now, this was really big, I guess, 5-6 years ago, when doctors were still trying to figure out, gosh, do I go to cloud-based systems? Do I sit with server-based? There was this a few years back, I recall that when doctors are still trying to figure out, no, I don't know. I like to have my server sitting back over here in this closet because, I've got everything that I need over here. But technology has taken things so far from, gosh, we got cars that drive for us, for goodness sakes. Now, and it's not that everybody's really ready to let go of the wheel just yet, but that's where technology has taken all of us. But here in revenue cycle management, you really do need something to separate yourself from all others. You do not need a server-based system. What you need is a full functioning, good working web-based system. One that does mobile charting. It helped the doctors increase the revenue. 100% US-based customer service. It's certified in everything that it needs to have. It's been around since 1998. It's affordable. It's customizable. It's web-based and connected. It's integration. It's got integrated, and it's specialized in all specialties. That's what you need. And with what we have here with iClaim and EMRx, that's what's going to separate you from all others. Because again, as we've mentioned in others, and we're mentioning again today, it's the only one out there that if you look at that left-hand corner, now we've talked about all this other stuff, iClaim and EMRx. iClaim is the billing system. EMRx is the electronic medical records. You really can't have one without the other anymore. You can't just piecemeal them either. If you're going to have a system, you better have the same type of system out there, that you've got a billing system and an EMR system that's all kind of built together. Used to be you'd have a billing system and you could interface it with another electronic medical record system, and you had to piece all it. We're so far beyond that. And then obviously a patient portal, that was kind of a cool asset, to have a few years back, but it became a real important issue when COVID broke out, because we were already set up to do virtual telemed visits with and through the system. It was already built in. It was already there. It was already working. We were already doing that. But again, the separator, the thing that separates you from all other billing systems, let's just talk just about the practice management system, that thing that's right above it, iClaim, that's the billing system, is with all of the systems, you would have to connect to some third-party clearinghouse. Now, the reason that this is important is because we are our own claim scrubber and submissions access through our clearinghouse. It allows us to do things that most other systems can't do. And that is to go out there and do a patient verification. Let's say with Aetna, we'll just take Aetna. You can put the patient's information and go out there and pull down the drop-down menu and go to Aetna. And we're going to check and see if Eric Auger really does have services with Aetna. And type in my patient ID with Aetna. And it goes out through inside of our personal system here. Go to Aetna, because we're the clearinghouse. We can go directly to Aetna and go, yep, Eric's with Aetna. And while I'm there, I can go ahead, well, let me hit this more button, and let me populate all of Eric's demographics and pull it in. Well, that just saved the office and you a ton of time. It cut down on any particular claims that might get rejected, because they're not going to get rejected because you got the wrong patient demographics in there. So that's pretty important if you hear what I just said there. Now, one of the ways that you can learn about it is I want you to make sure that you get back with the person that invited you today and schedule your own personal demo with them so that they can show you exactly what I just shared with you. Because through the iClaim system that does all the billing and the electronic medical records all pieced into there, and again, having a complete clearinghouse involved in this, and the patient portal that allows the patients to pay their own bills, schedule appointments, get all their medical records, do medication refills, set up a telemed visit with inside of there. All of that's all completed. And again, kind of looking at it right now, this is the setup. We're not using somebody else's material to kind of pull all this together, because the clearinghouse sits inside the billing system. That gives us, just think about it, just the most simplistic way, it gives us direct access to each of these insurance companies out there. If you're using a billing system that you have to put on your computer and run your own server, you're going to have to connect that not to an insurance company. You're going to have to connect that to some third-party clearinghouse out there, and you're going to send all of your transactions through that clearinghouse over there, and then they're going to either send it back to you because there was an error, or they're going to send it on and it gets to the insurance company and it's going to get rejected at the insurance company because you got the wrong patient demographics in there. You can see the failure that can automatically already start. So we're trying to tell you, hey, these are 3 ways that you might fail. One of the ways that you might fail is having the wrong system. That's what I'm saying. So you got to have something that's different out there in the marketplace for you to have. Folks, we have just 10 minutes left here on today's webinar. I can tell you these things can go by pretty quickly. And the last thing you need to have is the right training support. Now, this is for you. Now, a lot of people ask right off the bat, hey, I'd like to try to figure out how to kick the tires. I want to make sure that before I invest in myself, the $28,990 here at American Business Systems, I wonder if I can go out there and start finding some doctors on my own. So this is what we find out has happened. A lot of times people go out there and try to say, hey, I'm going to see if I can go get my own leads and start building my own leads before I pay my money. Because if I feel like I could just get some doctors on the hook, then I'll go ahead and pay for my training and my support and get involved with American Business Systems. And then I kind of leave these doctors hanging out over there. You already see this as a problem already. What's going to happen if that doctor calls you before you get started with your training and they're going to say, hey, do you do your coding and do you have CPCers? And all of a sudden you go, I don't even know what a CPC is. You see, and you just completely burned a lead, and so and if the doctor says, do you do full RCM? And you go, I hope so. Well, RCM stands for revenue cycle management. The doctor would probably go, you should at least know that if you're trying to get my business. You see, we don't want you to burn any leads. So don't go out there and try to tell doctors that you're doing billing yet or starting a medical billing company yet, because we want to take you through the entire revenue cycle management. We want to make sure that you've got this down solid. We want to make sure that you understand what claim preparations are, claim submissions, claims management, and claims reporting. We want to make sure you've got that down all the way with all the acronyms that go along with it. We want to make sure that you are not going to get caught on your heels by not knowing the terminology. We want to make sure that you've got all of that. And that's what you're going to go through this very intensive training time with us here at American Business Systems. Then we're going to teach you again how to do that practice analysis. Remember, I mentioned that to you earlier, that before you actually get that doctor involved in a demo, we want to make sure that we've got the practice analysis all done and then set that practice revenue report right in front of them. That after you collected all that data and you got all their doctor's information, that you're setting that report right in front of them, and they go, well, wait a minute. Are you telling me that if I go with you, you could actually increase my revenue by $10,000 more a month? Okay, so at that point, do you have to sell anything to the doctor? You don't. So it's not that you're selling anything to the doctor except their money. And it's money that they're losing already. And if anybody's heard me on any of the webinars before, people don't make decisions on what they gain. People make decisions about what they're losing. Okay? Just think about that next time a hurricane comes blowing through or something happens in a part of the country and all of a sudden you can't get bottled water anymore. That becomes something that you would almost pay 3 or 4 or 5 times more because it's scarcity. It creates its own scarcity. This shows the doctor that, gosh, there's some scarcity here. I'm losing money here. I'm hemorrhaging money somewhere. This person might know where to plug that hole. That's what it's all about. And so we've got all of the support mechanisms, whether it's through MIRMA, we can help. We will show the doctors everything that they need to do through MIRMA. It won't come through American Business Systems because we don't want, the doctors thinking that you just cracked open a box, something here, and all of a sudden you kind of got things going here. So we've got all of that. And then we've got all the support mechanisms that you need. Again, we've got an 800 number that you can call today and get support help right off the bat. And then we've got all of our technology partners here that also will help you make sure that you got everything that you need 100%, 5 to 7 days a week here is whatever you need it, and even into the evenings. Then again, ways that we help you not to fail. And that is, again, in your marketing. Some of you folks already know this, but it's about the book, The New Thriving Medical Practice. And again, you got folks that have been here time and time before. This is for folks that have never been on any of these webinars. And this is so important for them to listen, but listen to make sure that you haven't missed anything here either. Your name will actually go on the front part of this book, The New Thriving Medical Practice. Not only does it go on the front part that shows that you wrote the foreword, it goes in the front part of the book, and then you're the one that's at the end that has wrote the foreword to that particular book. And these are print on demand. These are actual books that you would pull out. Any of these books that I have on my shelf here, they're actual books. These are not ebooks that you mail out to doctors. These are actual physical books. And we're going to show you how to get this particular book directly into the doctor's hands with skipping right past that front office desk. We're going to show you how to do that. That's one of the biggest things that we're going to show you how to do. And just by that, you're going to have doctors call you. And not only do we have that book, we have the book that Adam Phillips, our CEO here, and Dr. Vicki Ratner have co-wrote as well, called 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. But you see these little tabs here. This is what I'm pointing out to you here is this. Doctors' times are incredibly valuable. And so much so, they don't have a lot of time to read. So what we're going to do during the training course is, again, help you not to fail. Think about this. We're going to have you read through the book with our trainer, and he or she's going to show you how to highlight certain parts of this book and then put these little tabs, these little sticky tabs in there. And what is that going to do? It's going to draw the doctor to the area of the book. And you're already going to have some things highlighted. And they go, oh, okay, all right, got it. And then they may go back up a little bit, back to the page before that and go, gosh, let me see what all this is about here. So again, we've got all the areas that you're going to need. And then lastly, again, we are here to help you make sure that you have, again, all the right training, all the right support that you have. Now, folks, again, I have talked just for 55 minutes straight here and hadn't had any questions. Hopefully I have been able to help answer some of your questions. Now is a good time if you'd like to type in any questions for me, because I'm going to kind of start wrapping up here with the webinar this afternoon. And one of the first things I want you to know is one of the first things we want you to know is that we don't want you to fail right off the bat. And so you could count this as the 4th way that you might fail, or we're trying to show you how to prevent to fail. So here at American Business Systems, we want you to make sure that you are 100% satisfied with your purchase here at American Business Systems. Again, being in the franchise type world, the business opportunity world, I want you to go out, if you're looking for any other business opportunities out there, simply go back and say, hey, do you have a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee? And most of them, if not all of them, will tell you, no, we just don't do that. We don't ever give the money back. Once you signed your agreement, you're done. And if you really do want to get that money back, you would have to go through attorneys, and nobody wants to do that because the only people that win are the attorneys. So we've kept it very, very, very simple. And Patrick, this is one of the legacy things that he has here at American Business Systems is his 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, remember, folks, y'all remember I mentioned earlier that we used to have training for 5 days. And what we used to have it written out is at the end of the training, if you feel like this is not for you, you can certainly ask us before you leave town and get your money back. But folks, that's not the way it is anymore. I mean, it's actually gotten better for you. There's more, it's better for you in this way that you can sit through 30 days basically of training. And right before that 30 days is up, if you feel like this business is not for you, simply ask for your money back and you'll get all of it back. Not a little bit, not a 10% restocking fee or anything else like that. You get all of it back, because we would rather you to be a much happier person. Know that at least you've tipped your toe in the water, you've gone through all the training, and at the end of that training you feel like this is not for you, just simply ask for your money back. And as Patrick used to say, he would say all the time, let's just part as friends. So let's just take care of it like that. So that is in the agreement. So if you haven't downloaded or gotten a copy of that agreement, again, get back with the person that invited you to the webinar today. Again, so here's some things that you might want to do for those that have been on past webinars. Just bear with me here as I kind of wrap this up. But you do want to get a download of the research guide. There it is, the research guide there, and make sure that you get that and kind of go through that. Folks, we do these webinars every Wednesday. So what I would like for you to do is go to our YouTube channel. Actually, you can go to absystems.com/blog. You can see all of the past webinars from there, or you can go to our YouTube channel and see /YABS and go see past webinars that we've done there. You want to go take a look at that, go look at all of the different things that we've talked about in the past. If there's a topic on there that we haven't done in a while and you want us to go back over that, get with us. We'll do that with you and for you. And the other thing you want to do is get the reference list. Call some of these folks that are on this reference list. These are the actual folks here. Matter of fact, the person at the right-hand column right up at the top, She's actually one of the biggest, one of our lead trainers here. That's Cynthia. She's been around for a long time. The guy at the very bottom right is Tim. He's actually in charge of all of our ABS support. But all these people are business owners with American Business Systems. And so you're not just learning from just corporate ABS. You're learning from people who have gone through our training, built their businesses, and then built them very well for that for you to give them a call. So please do that. I've already mentioned to you, please go out there and ask for a demo yourself. Listen, you're selling yourself short if you don't set up a demo for yourself. So get that done. Download and ask for your purchase agreement so you can review that. Make sure that you learn about all the funding instructions that you need to be able to get there. It's about 5 pages long. The first part of this is right over here. You can barely see it, but it says refund policy. That little paragraph right there is the refund policy. It's just basically what I said to you earlier. Just get it, read it, understand it, let your attorney look it over. Can't get any better than that. And then finally, get your funding and training together. We can start your training as early as next week and get you started. So folks, here we are. Look, this is the middle part of February. You got about two and a half, but not even 2 weeks left of the month here. If you want to get started so that you finish out the first quarter of 2023, and start the second quarter of the year, start getting your marketing. So by the time summer gets here, you've got your first or second client. Now's the time to get going. Call us here at 866-565-8413. If you don't know who your rep is here, just call us. We will help you. All right. So Ulama is asked the question. This is my first attendance to this webinar. It is very interesting. I look forward to attending more. Thanks. So I appreciate that. See, I told you we have new folks over here. So I appreciate you saying that this is the first one you've been to. Some of these folks have been on here. I recognize you. I feel like I know you by name. We ought to be exchanging Christmas cards by now. So come on and join us here at American Business Systems. We'd love to have you. Look, and we're not pressuring you into this. You know, if you want to be on these webinars for, as long as you want to, we're here. None of us are here to pressure you into this decision. What we want to make sure is that you have everything that you need. So hopefully today's presentation of, 3 ways, that people might fail. Hopefully I've closed some of that gap there. To kind of let you know what you should be doing, whether you're looking at us or anybody else. You need to know exactly if you're going to follow a plan, follow a plan. So I hope that you do very well at what you're ever looking to do, but hopefully it's with us. James says, thanks, Eric. Great job today. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody being on here. I look forward to being with you and visiting with you. Get back with the person that invited you here. If I said something today that kind of makes you scratch your head, get back with them. Because that's what we're trying to do here during these webinars, is kind of get you thinking of what it's going to take for you to become successful at whatever you do. One of the things I'll leave you with this, hopefully those that have been on these webinars, that you look forward to this, because we are excited. We've always been excited about what American Business Systems can do. Hopefully it comes through with what we say here in our webinars and when you're talking with us one-on-one here at ABS, because we really are, it's so funny. I'll just tell you just a little personal thing here. Between most of us here at ABS, we've all seen our kids grow. Now we're seeing grandkids around. So if you want to be a part of a company that's going to be here for the long haul, American Business Systems is that company. So come join us as family here at American Business Systems. Thanks so much for your time this afternoon. You'll have a great evening, a great upcoming weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at the webinar. Y'all have a good afternoon. Good night, everybody.